Hello everyone and welcome back to the 8th part tutorial of the beginner guide to Maya. This time we're gonna start with learning a little bit of how we can reshape reshape default shapes we have here. So it's just a little introduction to it. We will do a lot more later on, but I do want to just you know get you familiar with with some more things before we will actually start and model or just practicing modeling. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop a new polygon into my scene, which will be a face cube. Okay, so this cube comes with default settings, of course, as we already talked about, and there are three ways on which we can start and modify a shape. So in order to bring those, I think we already seen this menu before. You've seen this in earlier parts on this series, but we're going to introduce them all over again. So if you grab a shape, okay, and right click on it and hold, you have the edge option, which is here. You have the vertices option, vertex option, and you have the face option. These three are the main common used, ways in order to modify a shape. Now, we also have the object mode, which brings us back to object mode, which is like the entire shape has been selected and it's not editable, okay? But any of those features will make it editable, okay? Will actually bring you into edit mode. So whenever we want to switch on and off from edit mode to object mode, there is the F8 key, which is really useful because it's just giving you a a fast respawn in order to exit this mode. So let's say I'm gonna start by starting modifying vertices on this cube. So right click on the shape, choose vertices, and you will immediately see that the cube wireframes are turned into bluish and all the vertices are presented as red dots here. Okay, so you can either select with the selection tool one dot, you can either press on it like that or mark with select a bunch of them. Okay, mark with selection is by clicking, holding, and drag on top of an area and release. So whenever you select something like vertices, you can see they're turned into um, yellow dots instead of being purple or pink or whatever color it is. Now, whenever you choose like vertex and you want to add to the selection, you can simply mark we select this area, okay? But I'm taking in mind that behind this dot, there is no other dots there in this direction or in this area that I just selected. Because what happens whenever you use mark with selection is basically it will cover the entire shape. So if I grabbed those three here, okay, you see 1, 2, 3, it also selected the one behind down here, okay, because it was in the same direction that my camera is facing, but you just couldn't see it because it's there. So you need to be very careful whenever you choose to start and use the mark with selection. So with this less geometry, this cube has pretty much low geometry on it and less vertices than the sphere, for instance. So it's pretty safe to know that you can grab those two in this part, and you'll know that you only select those two, okay? These two already been selected, but never mind. Now, it will be much more easier to explain this further whenever I'm going to switch to face now. Okay, so right click on the shape and choose face. And now I will show you exactly what I want you to know, and it's a little bit more easier that way, I think, at least for faces. So whenever you want to select faces, what happens with faces is that they don't have those red dots that's showing you if they are selected or not. So whenever you hover your mouse over a face, you can select it by pressing it turn it into brown color, okay? Now, whenever you hover your mouse over it, it will indicate as green, okay? So that means that this face already been selected. Now, if you want to add to this selection, you simply need to press Shift, hold it, and select the desired face that you want to select, and it will add to selection. Now, same with mark with selection. If I'm going to mark with select both of them, which are already selected, what will happen in this scenario, it will unselect those while the Shift is down, pressed, but it will select these on the other side, okay, this face, or even the one beneath, I don't know. Now, whenever I want to choose like this one, Shift select this one, Shift select this one, and now I want to take an aggressive kind of selection, like using the mark with selection tool. So I'm gonna hold down the Control and the Shift at the same time and select this. Well, sorry, I'm pressing something else. Control Shift, and it will add to selection. Now, I'm going to do this all over again. I'm going to select this, Shift select this, Shift select this. Okay, those three remained unselected, and hold down the Control and the Shift at the same time, and mark we select everything, and this will simply add to this same selection that's already been made. Okay, now the difference between using the Control Shift and the Shift is that, again, if I'm going to select only those three and use the Shift and mark reselect everything, whatever already been selected will be the selection will be unmade, and the other ones that haven't been selected will be selected. So it's like inverting selection on in particular cases. So again, 1, 2, 3 selected, Control Shift to add to this same selection without unselecting those. And doing those three, and you want to invert this, so you will simply press Shift and select everything, and it will select those that haven't been selected and unselect those that have been selected. Anyway, this is how you select those, and just a little bit on the selection tool. So we really want to form this shape into something else. So of course we can use any of those face, vertex, or edge options, and we will start with the face. So I'm gonna grab face, and I can manipulate this face in using any of those three options. I have the move tool, which I can move this that way, upwards, downwards, and of course to this axis. Now I also have the rotation, and I can rotate this in any of those directions. Again, in our rotation tool, we can also get used to hold down the J key and rotate this face with the same option that will restrict our rotation that way. So you can see you can simply bring it to 90 degrees that way or whatever. So it's just with additional to the rotation tool. We can also scale this. So you can scale this that way. And you can do this all for all of them, 4 of them, and those that haven't been selected will react according to those, because these are like acting like some kind of an envelope to those two. I mean, you see, I can scale it that way, or I can grab all of them and scale them, and it will remain the same, basically the same thing, because these are being selected as a strip, like, I don't know, full overloop of this. Okay? So it's mainly the same. But if I will grab only 2 of them and do that, then we will have some changes here. Okay? Well, I hope you will understand this in any way. I mean, it's kind of common sense. Now, if I'm going to use the vertices and grab all of them, of course that it will react also the same. Okay? So that's pretty much why it's happening. With that said and done, this is the really basic stuff. You can still practice on reshape things that way, grabbing vertices as you like and move them all around and play with it, like feeling a little bit more comfortable to use those things, okay? And hopefully we will get a little bit more and on depth, at the next parts. So thank you again for watching. We will continue at the next part. Bye bye.